Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are watching from and when you are watching. It's so great to be back. Welcome to another exciting episode of Tuesday Treat. And like always, I have another amazing guest with me, an expert who is definitely doing amazing and awesome work. And especially what they do is really relevant for coaches and consultants. But before I invite my guest, I just want to make sure if you can hear me, please type hi or type hashtag live. Or if you're watching this on replay, type hashtag replay. I would also love to know where you are joining us from so that I know where we have our audience. And let me just see. I mean, if you can comment so that I can see. I mean, if you are if you can hear me and there are no technical glitches because you don't really want to have anything like that today because I have an awesome guest. And yeah, I see a comment that I think we are live. So let me just introduce, or I think I'll do it differently this time. I'll just invite them. They're so amazing. I really don't want to take more time, and I just want to have them talk about what they do and who they are. I'm really excited. I mean, but this is something very interesting. I think you can see, I mean, we do have a lot of difference when it comes to personality, but we really connect on the work front. It's something that connects us really well that we've been having so much conversation and we are talking about amazing work. And I really wanted them to be on this show. So please allow me to welcome my most amazing guest. And let me just add them to the screen. Please welcome Marcia. Hey, Marcia, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Adil, thank you so much for having me here. This is
Welcome.
exciting.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you taking your time out and being here. I'm really excited to have you here. I mean, it's not only because I mean the way we've connected and our interest, but what you do is really amazing, and it's something that I've always been interested in. So I'm really looking forward to our conversation today.
So,
So, so let me just jump right into my first question without wasting time. Can you please
mhm.
tell us a bit about yourself, what you do, how you get into what you are doing now?
Yes. My name is Marcia McCray, obviously. I'm the principal founder and serial entrepreneur of Marcia McCray Omnimedia, which consists of 5 brands. And yes, I'm going to go through the little spiel. Okay, it's the Brand Naked Agency, which is a branding firm, the Busy Entrepreneur's Guide Toolkit series, which is a DIY toolkit for entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that are on a shoestring budget. Then I'm got the Hive U, or the Hive University, and the Hive Community, and Where Art Meets Design, and Hug a Plush. So, I'm going to talk to you from the framework of the Brand Naked Agency because that's my moneymaker. And that's the one that really helps. It really helps entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, really get focused and, hone in on their businesses. So I got into this industry because I was tired of people telling me, this is how it should be done. You should do it this way, or you should do it that way. Um, I don't agree with that. I do agree that yes, we've got great, coaches and people out there that say, okay, these are some great tactics that you can use, or these are some great strategies that you can use. But ultimately, you're the one that defines yourself. And I think that I got tired of that and of people saying that my way is the only way. It's my way. That's what you should be doing. And I don't like the word should either. So but yeah, so really in the Marcia McCray Omnimedia realm, we create quality experiences for people to help connect with themselves and others through the power of messaging, visual language, and touch. Okay. And so my brand, the Brand Naked Agency, helps entrepreneurs and solopreneurs trust their instincts by tapping into their own genius, because you've got your own genius out there, and what you have to say is important. It's important. So it's not, you don't need to rely upon some guru to tell you this is what you should say. This is how you should say it. This is how you should like actually do the stuff in your work. This is how you should structure your business. No, there are over 7 billion people in the world. 7 billion people, everybody, which means there are over 7 billion different possibilities to actually create your business the way you want, or ideas of anything. Okay. And so just like everyone has a fingerprint, every business has a brand print. And I think it's important for people to know that, connecting first within, then with others from the inside out is the main thing that helps them stand out. A lot of times in the marketing world, people say, oh, be different. What's your difference, or what's your uniqueness? And how can you really say that if you're listening to 5,000 different voices and not honing in on yours? But I think so I left my job in 2010 to go full time into my business, into what I have now. And as I was along that journey, I realized that I started out as a graphic designer, but then I started doing more of realizing that there were some challenges that people were having, my clients were having. And it was that they weren't using who they were to communicate who they were in their businesses. And in other words, they wanted like pretty pictures. Oh, that's so nice, but it needed to be something more of, who are you? Something with depth. And I got kind of fed up. Yes, it was paying well. Yes, I liked it as far as money goes. But then I started feeling like, oh, there's like something that's not right. It wasn't fulfilling. And for me, for people to feel fulfilled, I feel like it needs to be a two-way street. It needs to be the entrepreneur or solopreneur that feels, that's like getting something, as well as the customers, the clients. It needs to be a two-way street. There's nothing wrong with that. And so that's when I shifted. Like, if you don't have who you are intact, the foundation, that's what I'm really concerned about, is that foundation, because from that, you can do anything. You know what I mean? You could just, So that's
I
what
can
made me.
so relate to that, because this is something that I think that was one of those topics that where we connected so well, because I mean we've all had our experiences. I mean, it's so true that I mean what you were mentioning, that I mean when people were telling you what you should be doing. So for me, I have seen even those clients who, I mean, even when I was working on teams where there were branding aspect involved, and I've seen them that for them adding just a yellow or pink color means differentiation. So I think even I've seen those kind of clients too, who just thought that maybe adding a circle or maybe adding some image would create differentiation. Whereas, like you said, find knowing about your purpose, knowing your why uh, is missing, and without that, they were thinking that they could create that. So that's
Mhm.
amazing. But quickly, I want to talk about, because this is something I mean I'm really excited about and passionate about. You mentioned that you were working, and then you went into entrepreneurship full time. So can you tell us a bit about the kind of work that you've been doing, and your what did you study and things like that?
Okay, so I studied graphic design and illustration. I went to an art school and I studied graphic design and illustration. And then I left, my job, which was a senior graphic designer for a higher education institution, to launch out into my own thing. One, you guys, I started getting tired too of people telling me about, this is how you do it. It just wasn't working for me. And I'm like, I want to do what I want to do, and then but yet satisfy the customer as well. So
Yeah.
that's my background, it of just of understanding and sharing who I am with the world. So
Okay.
I mean, did I
So
answer your question? I
yeah,
probably
you
just
did.
because I don't know half the stuff sometimes I'm saying. I get so excited
That's fine.
talking, but but anyway, go
No, no,
ahead.
that's you perfectly answered it, and I think you kind of gave me the transition to my next question, which is, I mean, the audience of this show are mostly coaches and consultants, and I
Hmm.
know you work with entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, so just wanted to know have you worked with coaches and consultants? And if you do,
Oh
or do you
yeah.
work with coaches and consultants? And if you do, how you what you do can benefit them? So
Yes.
can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So I've worked with, and I think one of them is online, Melanie Richards. She's one of my clients. She's a coach. She's a networking queen, I call her. But anyway, yes, I do help coaches gain clarity about who they are and just standing up in their own genius, their power of their own genius. Because there's nothing wrong. I want them to trust people to trust their voices, their own voices, and not having to trust this guru over here, and letting them dictate or define who they are. So that's what that's the thing I help them. I gain that clarity. I help them gain the clarity and help them to learn to position themselves. Many of us, we tend to ignore our gifts and abilities and how we do things because we see this billionaire or millionaire over here making, all this money, and then we don't actually trust ourselves because, oh well, they're doing something right, so what they're doing I should be doing, and I think that's, yeah. But yeah.
Well, that is important, yeah. And so,
Yeah.
can you tell anything about, I mean, any case study or anything where you work with client on all that and it has benefited them, something like that?
Yes, actually, one client that I'm working with now, she's brilliant. And I think the thing that's kind of like been standing in her way was mindset stuff. Now I'm not quite really like a mindset coach, but because I've experienced having to go through the imposter syndrome and that kind of thing, I've been able to walk her through, hey, you've got something important to say. So I've helped her organize her thoughts. I helped her to create that foundation, of what it is that she stands for and what is her mission and vision in life, and for her business. And that has that has opened her up to so much clarity. And every time that I've done consultation or coaching with clients, they're like, oh, I never thought of it like that. So here's what many people do, a deal. And I think you've heard me talk about this. There's the wagon, there's the horse. And I'm going to keep running this in the hole, everybody. The wagon represents your marketing. The horses represent your brand. Many people try to drag the horses with the wagon. How can you do that? It doesn't move by itself. It needs to be the horses, which is your brand, needs to be in front of the marketing. And that's what needs to drive everything. Who you are, what you stand for is what drives. And I think a lot of coaches and consultants get kind of caught up in that thing of the tactics. Let's do this. I got to do this. And, do video. I got to do this. What I say is the foundation. Start from that
Yeah,
foundation. Yeah. And
yeah. And I think,
that's how you avoid the gospel of sameness. That's how you avoid the
exactly.
gospel of sameness.
Exactly. And I think
Mhm.
because we've had this conversation, and I would want you to talk about this for our audience as well. And what you did with this coach, the story that you shared, I think
Mhm.
this truly signifies the name that you have for your business. Talk about that. I mean, I think you have a concept behind your name, and I think
Yes.
this is what you did as well. So, I, why brand naked?
Brand Naked came about because I feel that, like I said, I have this saying where be less than what others tell you or who others tell you that you should be. Discover and become more of who you are. And that's the thing. I think that's the key to everything. Being naked, sometimes you have to just get stripped butt naked, everyone, in order to honestly to get to the real core of who you are. Because so many times we've been our people in our past have told us, oh, you should be a COO or a CEO so you can make all this money, or you should be a doctor. And so what happens is people tend to leave that when who they are to try to accomplish something that they're not supposed to be, that they're not built for. They were built for something else. And being naked is taking off all that junk and trying to be like transparent and honest and starting with the right foundation clothing, the clothing that fits them perfectly. and not what someone else is telling them. Oh, you should wear that dress, or you should wear, not literally, but you know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
where brand naked, it's just important sometimes to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to undress if you've been wearing the wrong things that don't fit, the things that were not right for your brand or your business. It's okay to start over and start with the building back up with the brand foundation and the basics. So that's how the Brand Naked Agency, that name.
Yeah. And I think at the core of it, there is, I mean, what you do and how you do there, at the core of it, there is a lot of mindset work involved. So even if you
There
say that
is.
you're not a coach, so I mean, there is this mindset work that needs to be done first.
Yeah, the only reason that I'm able to communicate that, deal with the mindset stuff, is because I experienced it. I only deal with things that I experienced. I can't, because it's hard for me to try to do something else, that I've never experienced. I can't relate to people with that. And so if I can't relate, then I'm going to pass you on to someone else. I'll tell you, hey, go to a deal. He knows that stuff better than I do, or, something like that. I have no shame in that, to say I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no shame.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if that happens and you sending me that referral, that's like a treat for me. And
Yeah.
so, but that brings me to my favorite question of this show. And it's like, I mean, we have this differentiation, I would like to call it that. I mean, usually people give treat to their guests. But on this show, we have a tradition where we ask our guests to bring some treat for our audience. So, do you have any treat for us?
Yes. So everyone, what I want to give you, because sometimes it's hard to understand what it is that we need clarity on some things. So what I want to do is I want to give you this opportunity to have virtual tea or coffee with me. Oh, and if you're interested in challenging the norm and doing business as unusual and becoming more of who you are, and then using that in your business, then I would love to offer you virtual tea or coffee with me. It's a 30-minute free consultation, no hassle, no selling or whatever, unless I find something that might benefit you. But I want to hear what it is that you're having challenges with, because then I can point you in the right direction, whether it's with my company or with someone else's company, so that's my treat. But it's just important, Adil, let me just say this. It's so important that that all of us are in alignment with ourselves, right? There are what I call the four knows, okay? Know who you are, your values, your core values, and your guiding principles of your business, like the mission and vision. Know who, and what, and where you want to go. Know where you and what you want to do, and where you want to go, because you can't do anything without that. Then you got to know that it may take a little while to get to where you need to go. And it will require planning and execution, not one or the other. And know that you are the one to define who or what your business is. So that's the thing. Do not let anyone do this for you, because other people will define you. So it's important for you to define yourself.
Yeah,
So
I
that's,
so agree.
yeah.
That's very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, please. You were saying something.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
I'm saying, I thought you were saying something.
Yeah, I was.
So please finish.
I'm trying to rush because I understand like the time. I'm trying to get the time, in here. But I just wanted to say that, that alignment in the 4 areas, which is self, your employees, shareholders, and other stakeholders. It's your internal operations of your business, which is your brand culture, your operational procedures, and then the customers. All of these need to be, they're like an ecosystem, everyone, that really actually you have to have that alignment. And not that they're going to ever be perfect, because they won't, but they need to at least have some kind of alignment in order for you to actually communicate a healthy brand and to build a sustainable brand. So it's not one or the other, like 1 and 2 or 1 and 4, it needs to be all of them together that creates that sustainability. So.
Awesome. I've shared the link, but Marcia, I'll request that this is streaming live on Facebook. So I will tag you there so that people who want to connect with you, they can find you and connect with you. And I will always also request you to share these links over there so that people who would want to book this free 30-minute consultation call, they can book that. And I will request those who are watching it live right now, or even on replay, if you are watching this, please do book that. Marcia is amazing. I remember we were just having a regular conversation, and I think the last conversation that we had around why I was not using my logo and everything. So it
Yes.
really opened my eyes about some of the limiting beliefs that I was carrying. So I think having that clarity was really amazing. And trust me, it was not her telling me anything. It was me figuring out and finding where the lack was. So it's something that will really add value. So, and there's one more thing. I think you have a group.
Yes. The Uncover.
So,
Oh, it's actually, I wanted to share about the Uncover
okay.
brand, free brand
Oh,
assessment. And
okay.
you can reach that through www.thebrandnakedagency.co. Yes, it's co. And on the homepage, you'll see a big mouth, but just scroll, and the second image is the assessment. So you just click that little button and you can assess your brand, where you are, just to find. And then within that assessment, it tells you things, it suggests things that you can improve upon, or, that kind of thing. So.
That's awesome. So it's like you're offering us a double treat this time.
Yes, double treats.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I will request you to, I mean, do share these links on the Facebook thread.
Okay, I
And
sure will.
to our audience, I will request, and I would highly recommend that you should go and check these links out, and do schedule this 30-minute session with Marcia. Or anyways, I mean, just connect with her on Facebook. She's always easy to talk to, approachable, and you can always get to schedule a call with her. So it's really fun, and it's really insightful at the same time. So I would really recommend you to do that. Any parting thoughts, Marcia?
No, I just want you to know, I want everyone to know that just define yourself. Don't let anyone do it for you. And I just want to leave you with this: stand up, stand out, and take your place in the world, because the world needs what you have to say. They need it. That's it.
Wow. These I think these lines are a treat in itself too. I mean, don't let anyone else define you, and also, I mean, stand out, and and go.
take
What
take
was
your
the
place.
last line?
Take your place
Take
in
your
the
place.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your place in the world. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you so much, Marcia, for your time
Thank
today.
you.
I really enjoyed our conversation. I always enjoy our conversation. It's always something new to learn. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And to our audience, do tune in next week. Next Tuesday, we are again coming back with another amazing expert. Till then, have fun. Good afternoon, good evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone.